And you know, when you put it that way, and this is why I like a group discussion, this is why I like sharing, and this is why I like this topic so much. Dispelling is stomping, and that is our form of stomping the stigma, is to give truth to a lie.
I'm gonna meet you where you are too.
Yes.
Because when you say, I'm tired of dispelling myths, it's time to stop them.
Yes, it is.
I'm with you. Because sometimes you just got to,
The spelling is just too
you
much
just got to
of a
ball
word.
your fist up and you just got to hit step in the throat.
Well, the name of the topic is Stomp the Stigma. I personally wanted to say the stigma, but we're doing a podcast. It's for the folks. We don't want to offend nobody, but I really feel in my heart the stigma. I am your handsome host, Noonday, and this is my lovely co-host,
Yeah, Dawn.
and this is my other co-host,
Lovely co-host.
lovely co-host.
JR Knight.
Yes.
And welcome to the A Podcast.
Welcome to the A Podcast.
My God, so you want to talk to us today about
Stomping?
stomping. Stomping is the word.
Yes, stomping.
Stomping.
Oh,
Stomp the stigma is the topic, yes.
Okay.
And we have to stop the stigma.
Yes.
Ever since HIV reared its ugly face, there has been a stigma connected to it. And we could just sit and name all of these stigmas. The way you can get it is the stigma. Who gets it? The stigma.
what you doing to get
What you doing to get it? What position you play to get it? You must be this if you got it. God gave it to you because it is the sin of it all. All of that stupid stigma stuff needs to be stopped. Like I was telling my beautiful co-host, my lovely co-host, we would not be here if we fell prey to those stigmas. We would fold them because we have seen many of our friends fall to the stigma.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
So our whole thing is stop the stigma. I want to say F the stigma.
Yes, you know we really
But
want
I'm a
to say
family man.
it. Oh, are
He's an uncle.
Yes.
you are an uncle? Okay.
Yes.
They cannot.
And I got kids myself. I got gay kids.
A uncle.
A few. So where I am with that is the stigma has killed a lot of people. Just the stigma. So I understand why they talk about it every time you go into a gay room. We have to get rid of the stigma. You're not getting rid of the stigma. You have to stomp it. Meaning you have to throw it out of your mind and thrive the way you know how to thrive. Because if you live with that stigma would be in your head. What would they think if they see me take my meds? What would they think if they see me at an HIV convention? What would they think if I go test right now and care about myself in front of people?
Yeah.
All of those stigmas, it is killing and has killed a lot of our community. So
Yeah.
I'm going to start off with me. I usually punt it off, but I'm going to start off with me because I'm so fired up about this topic. When I first was told when I was 19 years old that I was HIV positive in 1991, stigmas were in the air. The kids were not testing. The kids was just drop dead. It knew all along they had HIV because they was afraid to say that.
Yeah.
That they had HIV. They were afraid to go get the medication. They were afraid to be even caught at Parkland taking care of themselves and living.
Wait a minute. Hold on 1 second. No, you said they were afraid to take the medication. Let's be real about this. In those early days,
Oh, yeah.
we weren't offered a lot of the medications, right? So it wasn't that they were afraid.
They were afraid.
Understand that, yeah, they probably were, but it wasn't.
I was
just
offered the
fear.
medication.
That doesn't mean that everybody else was.
If I was offered, I was part of the public, then why wouldn't they offer it to somebody else? Everybody had medication available during the time. So in my community, when what did I do? Catch the Underground Railroad to go get medicine? I was in the hospital. They said, okay, here's some med. Go here, go get the medication. They didn't tell that to everybody. I would like to think that I'm special, but I think they could have told it was public
You
information.
might have been one of the special ones.
You
and
might
I don't
be.
wonder if that was.
There was a couple of, well, I never knew that there was some people not telling people about medication, but
First of all, they really didn't have medications.
well, I'm alive because of medication, so they did have some
They
medication.
did have some. So they had AZT. They had what was the other?
Cumbervir and Varicep. It was nasty. It made you a little fuzzy. It didn't make you feel like you was eating chalk, but it kept you alive. And I knew in my friends, in my circle, I knew who was on meds, or basically, not everybody, but I had an idea because, you know, you would see these girls at the clinic or whatever, you see the kids at the clinic or whatever, and the girls that just dropped dead, you didn't see at the clinic. These people knew about, basically they knew. I'm not saying that everybody knew.
Okay.
I want to say everybody knew, but the girl knew.
The children knew.
The children knew.
Okay.
The children was living under the stigmas and was afraid that somebody would clock their teeth if they were positive. I never was that way. Either I was going to live or worry about what you see. So what you thought.
Well, you know, I hear that, and then I'm also thinking about like my truth is mirrored with your truth, y'all, with like delaying care. So I'm actually when I hear you talk about like engaging in care right after being diagnosed, I am impressed by it because that was a time where people were just not doing it for several reasons. Yeah. Stigma being one of them, and then also just the information that we was getting from community, whether it was by word of mouth or just by our own lived experience, seeing people who did have access to medication and that were taking it, and we were seeing
The
their
effects.
absolutely.
You know, so you know
because
what?
the quality of life
J.R. Knight.
for a lot went down.
Let me
That
say
could also be
this.
considered a stigma.
So
But for some of it was like it was visual. You can literally see the quality of life.
By the
yeah.
time in 1991, that was Cumbervir and Varicep.
Okay, but check this out.
And
There was
AZT was for
also-
babies
There was also
at that point.
No, not just for babies, but there were also the buffalo humps in the
Yeah.
back of the neck. There was the protruding stomach. I forget what it's called, but it was your stomach blew up and it got really hard. Now this was
I think
because
they call it
this is-
hard belly.
Hard belly. Now this is from the medication.
Yeah.
Now did the texture of your hair? You know, your hair became fine.
That was AZT.
So okay, so
Here
these-
we are talking about stigmas, and the topic is Stomp the Stigmas. Go ahead.
right. So personally, you know, I wanted some good hair, but if I had to get on medication for my hair to get good, I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
fine.
with all those stigmas, stomp the stigma. That's what this topic is about. All of that stuff. Well, your hair is gonna be fine. Maybe you'll get a belly. Girl, it was take the medicine or live, listen to the stigmas and die. Again, that's where we are. And that's where I was. I was going to take the medication, hence me here.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me. Can I get my spin? I didn't take the medication.
And here I am.
You started.
Nope, I did
Nope.
not.
No.
The first time.
Oh, you on it now?
I'm on it.
And have you been on it for more than 10 years?
I was diagnosed in 1989, no. I didn't start taking medications until not 1999, not 2009. I didn't start taking medication until 2012. That is 23 years after my
After
diagnosis. When the medications were no longer 15 to 25 to 40 pills a day, it was down to 1 pill a day. But I have my own reasons for not taking the medications because I saw the effects that the medication was doing to people in my community.
I saw people living with the
I
medication.
saw people dying.
I saw people dying horrible.
That was with AZT. By the time I got to Cumbervir, my mouth was a little sudsy. My mouth was a little sudsy. It was 12 pills a day, but I took it and I said thrive, and I'm here. So again, a lot of those may be y'all experiences, but there was a lot of other stigmas besides the medication will make you have hard belly and all those different things.
Let me put a pause and let me for y'all in the audience. Stigma is a mark of disgrace associated with a particular
Yes.
circumstance, quality, or person. So what we're talking about, those are all signs, they fit into the definition of stigma. The hard belly, the fuzzy mouth, the thin hair, the weight loss, the ashy skin, all of that falls under the umbrella of what stigma
You know, I
is.
kind of think that they don't. And I'm going to tell you here's why. What you had just explained and what you saw were facts about the medication. Facts are not stigmas. They're not negative connotations. So what you just explained is that yes, those things that happen, like that's the side effects of some medications. Those are side effects of some medication. But if you want to associate that and that only with taking the medication, what I'm sitting here telling you, I did take the medication and I am alive, and it just made me a little fuzzy mouth, and I moved on.
Okay.
You know, this belly I got here is from Jackie Cookie. And it's not old. So it did not happen
Shout
to
out,
me.
Mama
You know,
Dawson.
right, those are facts that you're saying. But if that's what you're blaring, when it comes to life, when you're saying you're gonna get a hard belly, your hair is gonna be fine, that's a fact. But if you blare that over life, that becomes you give it a negative connotation. The medicines they've only grown, they've only gotten better.
Yeah.
So I think that we need to be careful in a situation like this. We put our own stigma on things.
No, what I'm saying, listen to me. I am not defending stigma in the least. My mantra is love is greater than stigma. I believe that love is going to be the cure-all to end stigma, first and foremost. Secondly,
I say ignore them, stop them.
Secondly, what I'm saying is what was being seen, the effects, like you said, the effects of the medication.
Yeah.
All of these things contributed to stigma, and not just stigma, not just external stigma,
Right.
but internal stigma too. Because guess what? Some people living with HIV, they have a stigma about themselves. They feel a certain way about themselves.
Yes, they do.
You know, so
Those stigmas are so strong that it will make certain people feel it.
right.
Yeah.
And again, I never felt that way because I had a determined mind. And I say that that we also have a determined mind. And it's not just the medication why you're still here. You also said in your mind some way, somehow, that I am going to live. Period. You ignored a lot of stigmas. If I don't take medication, I'll die. That could be a stigma, and you live through that. The medication of all of those. You survive. You're so thriving right now. So you had to stop some stigmas in your life to get to where you are.
Oh,
Just leaving the medication alone. You had to stop the she's gonna give it to her babies. You had to stop the stigmas of a lot of different things.
You want to know how I did that? From the moment I found out that I was pregnant, I prayed, and I prayed hard, and I prayed long every single day for my children not to be born with HIV. That's how my stigma was stopped. But also, the reason I say love is greater than stigma is because all I was shown from my family was love. I didn't have the family that turned their backs on me. There were some people who, through their ignorance, you know, they may have said some things.
Right.
But to this day, when my father, when I'm in my father's presence and we embrace, my father kisses me full on the lips. My family, my brother, my oldest brother, if I hurt myself, I get cut, he's running to go get the band-aids. He's running to take care of me. My entire family has done nothing but have my back. And woe to anybody who felt or said anything ignorant surrounding HIV and me in the presence of my family. And God forbid they say it in front of my sons. My sons will go to jail.
Yeah.
So that's why I say love is greater than stigma, no. And again, I'm not defending stigma at all. I hate it just as much as you do.
Right.
We all can attest to that. What y'all say? How y'all feel about stigma? Go ahead and leave a comment. Go ahead, JR.
They just said they hated it.
They had kind of stigma.
Hated it. That's right.
Look, somebody said they stomping it.
All right.
Clearly stop the stigma.
Yes.
Yes, but yeah, for me, I'm hearing I'm hearing a passionate conversation that is igniting. I must say, there are so many thoughts that are running through my head, but I also do believe that it is time to absolutely say
Stomp the stigma. Yeah.
right, to say stop the stigma, because stigma unfortunately informs. It informs community just like facts do, just like disinformation do.
You're right about that.
Like people are informed.
It's still information.
It's still information.
You're right about that.
And and just to touch back and not belabor, but just to touch back on the medication piece, but to also put into that the stigma around what HIV looks like. Like, 'cause people believed strongly and to a degree today that HIV has a look.
Right.
Like a person who's living with HIV looks a certain way.
Right.
That belief was, I believe, even stronger in the years that we were talking about.
Right.
Diagnosed in the 80s and the 90s, all the three of us
Yes.
were diagnosed
Right.
before 1999.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So we lived through to a point that we now are thriving. Because in the beginning I wasn't thriving, nothing.
Right.
Okay.
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 Right.
I just live from day to day. Yes. But yes, what I do know is that when it came to medication, when it came to the public's opinion on what HIV looked like, it was clouded and informed by stigmas. Like people who live with HIV look, walk, talk, sing, breathe, eat, sleep this way. You could clock them 100,000 miles away because of these things that are informed, according to these stigmas, to these things that are informing us and having us project stigmas on these individuals, like they're deserving or worthy or, less than, and, are they're living with this or that. And for me, HIV is just another diagnosis. And we did this for people who we felt like had a yeast infection. Girl, look at her. You know she got a yeast infection.
Got them shorts all up.
Okay. You know she got, so we would do that all the time. And, that's not factual. We don't know that this is a fact, but we are basing it on like our opinions, some things that we know, some
things that we heard.
Some things that we've heard. And so we're basing it off of that. And I think, and I'm sure you well know, No Day, is that to Yaya's point is that, like, when people learned that for people who are taking this medication, regardless of the what medication it was, when they're taking the medication for this ailment, for this diagnosis,
right,
you can clock them because they got that buffalo hunt. You can clock them because they got hard belly. If they're not on medication, you could clock them because of this. You could clock them because of that. You know who got a house in Virginia, baby. You ain't got to see the lease.
Say that part.
You ain't got to see that. I know who got a house in Virginia. People believe that with everything in them. And for that reason, others were like, okay, well, then I will be stigmatized if people are able to identify that I have a home in Virginia. So what I have to do is have them believe that I reside right here in the city in which I am, which is not Virginia, okay? In the state that I'm in. And so in a home in Virginia, a house in Virginia is what we used to say for people who were living with HIV.
Right.
And so for people who were taking medication, if they decided to take medication, it was all about making sure that they didn't show any signs that they were on medication.
Right. And
yes, so Nunde, one of the thoughts that I'm having is that, like, the myths, there's always going to be an opportunity where we are going to have to dispel myths. There are, people, like, babies are born, like I said, right now.
Right.
And they're going to come of age and we're going to have to share, like, this information and like, because they're going to get information from everywhere. Actually, it's the thought that I'm having. They're going to get information from everywhere.
Right.
And they may get, likely to get, misinformation, disinformation, untruths, all these things where individuals like ourselves are going to have to come and say, what minute? What we're doing is we're prepping ourselves to dispel that myth, to say, let me just give you this fact here so that you can have a different way of thinking about it. And for some people who are living with, because some of those babies may be, unfortunately and hopefully not true, we would have stopped new HIV diagnoses by the hopefully. But just in case, we're still doing this work in this way. One of them may be living with, and we're not just dispelling a myth, we are breathing life
and truth, right?
And truth in that situation.
When you put it that way, and this is why I like a group discussion, this is why I like sharing, and this is why I like this topic so much. Dispelling is stomping, and that is our form of stomping the stigma, is to give truth to a lie.
I'm gonna meet you where you are too.
Yes.
Because when you say, I'm tired of dispelling myths, it's time to stop them.
Yes, it is.
I'm with you. Because sometimes you just got to,
Dispelling is just
you just got to ball your fist up and you just got to hit step in the throat.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to do that. I feel it. And but it's like oftentimes we're talking about in this work, because we work in this field for those of you who are sitting here and they're like, wait a minute, so much being said, I don't understand some of these words. Forgive us. Forgive us. Because we have probably overeducated ourselves on this diagnosis so that we can sit here telling you that we are thriving.
Right.
So please forgive us, and take this as a teachable moment where you are even self-teaching and take an opportunity to just go and pull up some Google searches. Don't need to name drop Google like it's the only one. It's not the only search engine, but it is the one that I go to first, I will say. We'll go ahead and ask for a sponsorship there. But so go ahead and just
search your facts. Exactly.
Absolutely.
And drop a comment.
And let us know what you find. Tell us what your favorite search engine is telling you about stigmas.
And also let us know some of the stigmas that you've heard that you can stomp also.
Yes, absolutely.
Look, when we're out there and we're in the field and we're doing outreach, you can tell by some of these people's words and some of their behavior that they've been stigmatized.
Yeah.
That they have absolutely been stigmatized. Sometimes because I'm me and I never adhered to the stigmas, it was either my life, it was in the 90s, it was either my life or listen to the stigmas, and that's the way people that I work with say that I have tunnel vision. Because when I'm on something and it's a job to do, or it's been embedded in my brain, I'm there. Like I'm there with stopping the stigmas.
Yeah.
Because actually, I'm tired of going to conventions and seminars about HIV and being in the rooms and people are talking around. We have to get rid of the stigma. And my thing is, let's stop it. Let's absolutely spread our true facts and believe our true facts and stop what's been disapproved. Stop all the lies, the untruth, and live our lives. We cannot constantly battle stigma. We have to stomp it out like a roach because it has literally killed tons of people, like a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
I guess it is.
Yeah, so we have to, and we're back to the fact that when we're out there and we're passing out condoms and you're talking about sexual health, and not just about HIV, it's about the entire sexual health. When we're passing our condoms, JR was with me when there was 3 guys, 1 girl. And you can tell the girl had been stigmatized about condoms, about sexual health.
Yeah.
We went up to these 4 people and we was like, hey guys, we got condoms, just passing out free condoms. We're with the Bound in Prosperity. We're here to help you take care of your sexual health. We giving our little spiel and stuff. And first person to talk was the young lady. She was like, what? But you need to use them condoms for yourself. We don't want them. You look like you need them.
Yeah.
And all the guys around him was like, "Yeah, I'll take a few. Hey, give me some too. I'm gonna need these later."
Yeah.
All three of them took them. Do you know how gross that made her look?
Probably extremely. And what's even worse is that if she only knew that of all the women, and I'm not talking about the men, but just the women who have been exposed to HIV, in other words, they are living with HIV, 53% of that population is black women.
She was a black woman.
53% of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now come on.
But the story doesn't end there, yeah.
I'm sure it
So
doesn't.
after they took the condoms, so we're all downtown passing our love. Condoms of love. We're passing out our condoms, giving our message out, you know, letting them know where they can get free testing and free treatment and free behavioral health, you know, right here at Abandoned Prosperity.
It's sunny South Dallas.
It's sunny South Dallas. I love the way you say that.
1705
Martin.
Boulevard,
Boulevard
yes.
in sunny South Dallas,
Yes.
Texas 75215.
All right.
Website, prosperity.org.
Might as well just get it out there.
Yes.
Right. So, like, we're going about our business, spreading our love, giving our message out. So she comes up behind us or something like,
Yeah.
and then she's like, "What y'all doing? What y'all out here for? Why y'all got them for real?"
Total tall change.
And then, and it was her stigma was all about ignorance, and that's what stigma is: ignorance. Stigma is when you don't know something. My own definition: when you don't know something, you put a lie to it.
So no, I wanted to jump on to how do we stop the stigma? And you already answered that question by shedding light on the lie, exposing the lie. We got to educate ourselves. Listen, y'all don't have to believe what we're telling you. Go ahead and research it for yourself.
Please.
Study and show yourself approved. Did I say that?
Study and show thyself
And show
approved.
thyself approved.
Come here. We've already given you the address. Come here. Always. Let me tell you something about the streets. The streets lie sometimes.
Sometimes.
Okay.
The street will lie to you. The streets told you to sell drug, and it took you to the pen. The streets have done a lot of things wrong.
The streets have told you you're not worthy.
Yes, and we're telling you that you are worthy. And you have a right to live.
Valuable.
Yes.
If you have HIV, you have a right to live.
Yeah.
You have a right to be and thrive. You do.
Yes.
We are here to let you know that.
Yeah.
And another thing, when we come together, let me answer your question about how do you stop the stigma. Like you said, we shed truth over the lies and the ignorance. We educate you. Educate yourself. He already wants you to go into a search and find out the truth about HIV.
Yes.
Find the truth about PrEP. Find the truth about the medications and how we're thriving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we said in our other podcast, we have about 98 years of lived experience with HIV.
That makes us subject
And
matter
all the
experts.
things about, you're going to be skinny, you're going to lose weight. Honey, we've been trying to lose weight.
Okay.
We've been
Still
trying.
trying to lose weight. But
Right, so there's a lot of stigmas that you have to stomp. And stomping the stigma is just believing the facts about HIV. Oh,
yeah.
No, it's not, Moon. No, it's not. It's also about correcting others when they are putting out the misinformation. So
Yeah.
if somebody is telling you,
Yeah.
listen, you out there having sex and you ain't married and you going to catch something and you going to go to hell for it, let them know that that's not the case. Because guess what? If that were the case, none of us would be here. None of us. We all got here through sex.
Yeah.
All right? No, you're not going to hell just because you're having sex. You're not going to hell. God didn't curse you with this chronic illness. It's
Right.
not a curse.
Yeah.
It is a chronic illness that, guess what? You can live and thrive with.
yes. Don't
That's
forget about
it.
the 98 years.
98
Yeah.
years. And
That's
one more
very
thing.
important.
And so I'm going to go there and I'm going to say HIV is not a gay disease. If it were, how the heck did I contract it? I'm just saying. It does not discriminate.
Yeah.
Those are just a few of the myths that lead to the stigmas that have caused so much pain, hurt, and dissension
And right
Yeah.
today.
today.
So do us a favor. Hit like, hit subscribe. Go ahead and leave us some comments. And
Stomp the stigma.
Stop the stigma.
Yeah,
Stomp the
definitely
stigma.
stomp the stigma. I just wanted to say quickly, Noonday, that I really appreciate this conversation because it just kind of helped us go back into talking about just the effects of stigma in our
Right.
community and why it's just gravely important that we do something about it once and for all. That's what I'm hearing about.
Right.
Stomp the
Yes,
stigma,
once and
like
for
just
all,
once and
right.
for all. Let's just put this fire
To
out.
rest, right? And I
Okay.
like when she stopped and she was like, "No, you have to correct people in the room that are saying
Yes,
that
absolutely.
when it instantly comes out of their mouth.
Yeah.
You have to correct it over the internet. You have to correct it right there. That's a form of stomping, also. And thank you so much for that, y'all.
Absolutely.
I think that what we learned here today is basically some really good information. It saved lives because stigma destroyed lives.
Yes.
Stomping the stigma is going to save you, it's going to save somebody else, and it fills you with knowledge. Learning the facts about HIV, early detection with testing, these are wonderful things and great ways to stomp the stigma.
Yeah.
Thank y'all so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. And we hope to see y'all next time
Yes.
on the A.
On the A,
Don't
baby.
forget to like, comment.
Let me see how you do it. Just
I got it. This
Yes, you do.
Up and down.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Hit that like button.